do I stay?
Incoming!
Why is
Daughter
the
incoming!
entire
Daughter incoming now!
Oh, where am I?
You washed up.
Sorry?
Welcome to the island of discarded women, my friend.
I used to be somebody. Are you that woman on the radio?
Your island job is peladora de papas.
Sorry, what?
Potato peeler, 87% match for your skills.
Okay, that's not. Anyway, what is the second best match then?
Host of the Island Podcast.
Are you kidding me? No, see, that's me. That's perfect for me.
Ba-ba-do-do-do-do, ba-ba-do-do-do-do, ba-ba-do-do-do-do. I love shining with you.
Love shining with you too. Oh, hey, Melissa. Hey, sir. Hey. Okay, so get this. Wow, the waves are really boisterous tonight. Isn't that great? I love it. Because we're on the island. Okay, so Melissa, here's the thing. Yeah. So according to Lara Trump.
Now, which one is?
She's Eric's wife.
Got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So according to Lara, what he actually said was quiet Miggy.
Miggy with an M.
Yes. She told Bill Maher that. Yeah. And others have posted that they clearly heard him say quiet Peggy.
Which makes total sense since the reporter's name is Catherine.
And as the press secretary responded when asked what we know that he said, which was quiet Piggy, well, he's just very frank and honest, which is one of the reasons the American people elected him, because of his frankness.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
His frankness.
Yeah, it's his frankness.
Now I get it.
Now we get it. It's his frankness. And of course, a reporter asked a question like she's supposed to do, right? And he calls her Piggy, which he did. But that's not inappropriate because he's just being frank.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Frank.
Yeah, he's just being frank. So, the whole thing just brings up for me that disheartening discussion in the New York Times opinion piece, Did Women Ruin the Workplace?
Now, that was the original title before they got backlash,
yes,
right?
Yes, that's right. So they changed it to Have Feminine Vices Taken Over the Workplace?
Better.
Yeah, no, not better. More backlash ensued, so it was changed again to Did Liberal Feminism Ruin the Workplace? And Can Conservative Feminism Fix It?
Wait. Isn't that like a redundancy meeting an oxymoron?
Yeah, I think so. So now the piece itself did not change.
No. The title just got more biased or cringy. No, stupid.
All three. So in this New York Times piece, two theorists, Helen Andrews and Leah Labresco-Sargent, are being interviewed by the opinion writer Ross Douthat. Helen and Leah argue that the workplace has become too feminized, driving men and masculine virtues out, and that liberal feminism has failed us by forcing women to suppress their true natures and to instead try to fit into the workplace and social systems that are actually made for men.
Oh,
yeah.
And the true nature of women being nurturers, I'm assuming.
Yes. And worriers.
Worriers?
Yeah.
Like to worry.
Yes, like to worry. So they quote another theorist who posits that men are inherently warriors and women are naturally worriers.
Well, that clears everything up.
Doesn't it? I mean, who knew, right? And they had a lot to say about feminine vices that are ruining the workplace.
What the hell are feminine vices?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. Feminine vice. It sounds like some sort of 1800s thing to me.
Oh, like the vapors.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's like the vapors. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, like, I declare, I'm coming down with a case of the vapors. Fix me a mint julep, will you?
Oh, well, bless your little vice-filled heart, darling. Yes, as Mike Johnson would say. So according to these theorists, the list of feminine vices in the workplace include, you ready?
Yeah.
You got a pencil?
Yeah.
Gossiping, backstabbing, passive aggressiveness, and avoiding conflict. They make no mention, zero, however, of any feminine virtues. Whereas men in the workplace, they say, are straightforward, direct, and of course, say it with me, frank. Yes. Yes, frank. So these conservative feminists, their words, not mine, are certain that society has become overly feminized.
And that's a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a very bad thing, according to them. Their proof, too many women in med schools, too many women in law schools, too many women in leadership positions. And because of that, We're heading into a world, they say, where the workplace will not be able to function at all. And more importantly, will be untenable for men.
Cool.
So here's the thing, Melissa. Here's the thing that just gets me with this whole thing. These women, both in their 40s, they've carved out these huge platforms for themselves. Their essays and their books are extremely popular with conservatives. And they're sought after. They're sought after for speaking engagements and New York Times interviews like this one.
Yeah, and if they practice what they preach,
Right.
they wouldn't have platforms or these voices.
No. If they stayed out of the workplace and remained nurturers,
Or warriors.
yeah, or whatever the hell, no one would read their essays or their books or invite them to speak.
No one would care.
Nobody would care. So regardless of their ideology, they can have their ideology. But they have this recognition, these voices, because of the many strong women who have paved the way before them. Right? Yeah. Right? They're literally standing on the shoulders of every woman who has fought to get into a good college, challenge discrimination to get in the workplace, and finally began to flourish in positions of leadership. Right?
Yes.
Right? Yes?
Yes.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Women like Nancy Pelosi,
Yes.
85 years old,
Right.
just announced her retirement from Congress after 38 years in
Yes.
office. 19 of those years in leadership positions.
Yes. Big, huge shoulders on that girl in her 4-inch heels.
Or the shoulders of those who have sparked movements, like the groundbreaking Jane Goodall,
Yes.
who we just lost.
Yes. Jane. Yes.
And what about the new shoulders of those that are stepping up?
Yeah.
Like all the female reporters who are currently being slandered, mocked, and belittled to their faces, and still they show up.
Still they show up. And as the president spews this ugliness and this hatred towards our lovely Somali neighbors, I am celebrating the shoulders of the incredible mayor of our suburb, St. Louis Park, Nadia Mohammed. Nadia Mohammed, God bless her, a 29-year-old. She is the first Somali American female elected mayor of any U.S. city.
Yes.
Yes.
Standing up for our Somali neighbors.
Yes. And speaking of mayors, how about the brand new set of shoulders of the mayor-elect of St. Paul? Khalid Her, yes? First woman, first Hmong American elected as mayor of St. Paul?
Yes.
Yes,
And
yes, and
let
yes.
me be perfectly frank.
Go ahead.
If the hard work and leadership of all these women is ruining the workplace, sign me up.
Amen, girlfriend. Melissa Denton. Thank you, Melissa Denton.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. Okay, so speaking of stepping up into roles, Melissa, you have been an actor for many, many years, both here and in LA, right?
Yeah.
You are now the executive director of PCYC in North Minneapolis.
That's correct.
How did you get from doing guest spots on TV in Hollywood to overseeing a very large nonprofit organization?
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, tell us.
Well, I just kept on, we did improv together.
Yeah.
And I would also teach it. And I started teaching it more and more. And then I found this arts education. And going into classrooms, going into underserved communities, going into probation camps in Los Angeles, and doing theater, youth development, and where kids found expressions, meaning, belonging, well-being, purpose, and I just was sold. And I started being a program manager, program director, and then I became an executive director, Yes, and then came back here because family is here, and found PCYC in the Capri Theater in North Minneapolis. Come out to the Capri Theater. And we're still doing arts education for young people.
You had an alternative high school.
Yes.
So these are some big freaking shoulders right here to stand on. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. And now please welcome our musical guest for tonight, Chastity Brown. Come on up, Chastity. Come on up. So, Chastity, after George Floyd's murder in 2020, you wrote a song that I found extremely powerful. And I heard it right after you released it, which you did on your own. We were in the middle of lockdowns, of course. Remember that? We're in the lockdowns. And you recorded the whole song at home.
Yeah, what else is a musician to do but dibble and dabble with gadgets?
So tell me, because I know you're about to sing the song, but before you do, tell me what moved you to say what you're saying in this song. It's called Golden.
There's so many things. I will do my best to let it all coalesce. Of course, it's a pandemic.
Yeah.
And then at that point in time, there was such a culmination for people of color for our deaths to constantly be on screen.
Oh, yeah.
And it really has an effect on your psychological makeup. But when I saw my nephew on his way, leaving his shift as a med student at the hospital, pinned to the ground by 4 police officers who broke 2 ribs, just really fucked him up.
Yeah.
It just broke everything that I was trying to hold together.
Yeah.
And aside from being a med student, he's also an amazing rapper. And, you know, Auntie wants to impress. So I went into my garage where my studio was set up, and I was like, I want to make a song for him.
Oh, okay.
I want to make a song that he would maybe want to rap on.
Yeah.
And 6 hours later, that song came out.
Wow.
It just erupted.
Wow. And now we're going to hear it. Chastity Brown, Golden.
Oh, excuse me, will I tell my truth? And it rattles up and rings in you, but you don't know what to say or do, so you stare. Got golden drops upon my lips, and golden eyes, and golden kiss, and the glory in the power of my name. So why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry up in here? I've got joy even when I'm a target. You think that political don't get me started, 'cause you know I'm golden and I flaunt it. You know it's true. Everything I touch is golden. Every time I sing, you wanna be on it. And all the swag I bring, it's flawless. You know it's true. Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry up in here? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry up in here? Does a black woman voice have too much power? Would it go down sweetly if I sang softer? Ooh. Does this black woman voice have too much power? Would it go down sweetly have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry up in here? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry? Why do I have to be angry up in here?
Chastity Brown. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Incredible. I'm going to take this off now. That was incredible. That was incredible. Okay. So now this song, Chastity, ultimately landed on your latest album released in 2022, right? Sing to the Walls, right? Now on your website, you say this album is a love album in a way that you didn't plan on, which
Yeah.
I love. What does that mean? Tell us about that.
Oh, gosh. Well, even that song, Golden, it was anger for love's sake.
Oh.
And we talked about it a little bit. Like, when I read, in that time of writing the record, I read Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Yeah.
And I had always kept a distance because I thought the vernacular would be too much. But I was so taken back that it's a love story.
Yeah.
That doesn't center oppression.
Wow.
So that's what ended up happening on this record.
Yeah. And so this title song of the album, Sing to the Walls, which you're going to play right now, you say that this is a love song
Yeah.
about breaking through the physical, emotional, and social barriers that have been constructed all around us.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, like, when you see someone that you love that is hurting, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, and I hope to get to you. I hope that my love can, like, access where you are, even if it's just the walls that you've built around yourself.
Wow, that's just great. All right, here's Chastity Brown and Sing to the Walls.
I will sing to those walls, and I will sing to the stars. And if it lightens you up, I will sing to your heart. I will sing to your heart. And I will sing to the moon, and I will sing to the rain as it's falling at night. I will sing for you. Yeah, I'll be singing, I'll be singing. I will sing to those walls, hope it gets through. And I will sing to your scars, they need healing too. I will sing to your wall, I hope it gets through. I hope it gets through. To scoop you up, and we could go for a drive. You know how I like my car, you know how I love your eyes. I will sing to those eyes. will sing to those walls, hope it gets through. And I will sing to your scars, they need healing too. I will sing to your wall, I hope it gets through. I hope it gets through. I will sing to your walls, and I will sing to your scars. I will sing to your walls, and I will sing to your scars. I will sing to your wall, and I will sing to your scars.
Chastity Brown, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chastity will be back. She will be back with more. Yes, she will be back.
I sit somewhere between soliloquies and shutting my mouth. Problems that feel so damn big, and I am just one speck in the crowd. Doesn't matter what I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm just one voice. In these trying times of doubt, one may question, what can I do? Showing up is showing faith and holding space for what we can do. We can tackle this head on, joined in one song, ringing out like a call to action, combining forces, resources, igniting a chain reaction. 1 + 1 + 1 + you. 1 + 1 + 1 + you.
late this summer, I'm walking around Cedar Lake, close to our home, and at the beach, I see an older guy sitting on the bench looking out over the lake. And next to him is a bicycle that is covered with signs. Signs like, I'm a veteran, not a sucker or loser. And dictator or democracy, that's the choice. And no kings. And the basket attached to the bike was full of small American and Ukrainian flags all together waving in the breeze. And on his ball cap in large block letters was the word woke. Well, of course I gotta talk to this guy, right? Paula Poundstone had been on our show a few weeks before, and she talked about solo protesting, right? Going for walks near her home in Santa Monica and carrying a sign with her. So I said to this guy, wow, thank you for making this statement. Do you do this a lot? I mean, ride around the lake by yourself, all decked out with your bike and your signs? And he said, yes, I'm just trying to do my part. I said, well, it's greatly appreciated. And then he said, sometimes I join bigger protests too. I said, oh, with your bike, you join other protests? He goes, yeah, sometimes. And he said, and there's more of us, you know. I said, oh, more solo protesters on bikes? He said, right. Oh, so like, are you guys like a group, like an organization? No, but sometimes we ride together. So sometimes you solo protest together? Right. Got it.
One plus you. Oh, one plus you.
We live close to a Tesla dealership, which has apparently become the weekend hotspot for two committed groups, anti-Trump protesters and MAGA loyalists. Every Saturday, they roll in with their signs and their flags and their microphones and their chants and the dueling playlists. Picture freedom anthems mixing with country bangers, all swirling together in a smoothie of democracy. There's a kind of polite tension in the air. Sometimes it's honestly hard to tell who's protesting what. I spent whole minutes trying to decode a sign only to realize I'm staring at the wrong crowd. One protester always steals the show. She stands directly under a massive sign that screams, "God save Donald Trump and America." And there she is, like a one-woman fact-checking service, holding her own sign that reads, "God and Trump have never met, much less become friends." I tell her, "Your sign makes a good response." Without missing a beat, she replied, "That's why I stand here every week." She's one woman, one sign, and honestly, the best punchline at the whole protest.
In these trying times of doubt, one may question, what can I do? Showing up is showing faith and holding space for what we can do. We can tackle this head on, joined in one song, ringing out like a call to action, combining forces, resources, igniting the chain reaction.
So last December, right here, Sarah Stace was our special guest on the show. Now, Sarah had been the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood North Central States for 21 years. And she shared a story about her 90-plus-year-old mom doing her part for the 2024 election. Now, Sarah's parents, they were lifelong progressives, and her mom had always been very, very involved in elections, door knocking and phone banking. But last fall, in the lead up to that election and in her 90s, she didn't think that she was up for all that hands-on canvassing. So instead, every afternoon, she took a chair out to her front yard and sat next to her Harris Walz yard sign and engaged people passing by. Now, she lives on a bustling street in St. Paul with lots of people walking by, and she'd call out to them, "Hey, you planning on voting? Who are you going to vote for?" And Sarah said sometimes her mom got, dismissive responses, but more often folks would stop and engage her in deep discussions about the candidates and what was important to them. And she did this every day for weeks. I'm listening to the story and I'm thinking, why the hell didn't I do that? That is a fantastic idea. One woman with her chair and a yard sign. That's it, folks. That's all it takes.
What if the missing piece is you and me, and we have a choice? Give our gifts to make a rift, rippling out into the void. One drop in the ocean sets in motion a wave. One plus one plus one plus you. Oh, one plus one plus one plus you.
Zippy Laske, DGS. Thank you for that stunning brand new song. And thank you for your wonderful story, Melissa. Thank you so much. Okay, so as we all know, the Twin Cities has now become a target for ICE, joining so many other cities around the country, experiencing these overly aggressive and often violent raids, by masked agents with no warrants and vague orders from unclear government agencies. And after the president's utterly shameful and racist screed toward our Somali neighbors, ISIS suddenly showed up here in force, targeting many more of our immigrant neighbors. Doesn't matter if they're citizens. If they're brown or black, they don't feel safe right now. And rapid response teams are popping up, as well as organizations who are helping people understand and navigate what's legal and what's not when showing up to protests. A couple of weeks ago, Rachel Maddow on her show featured an ICE preparedness training event taking place at a church in North Carolina. The sanctuary was completely full that night. The agenda, number one, know your rights when protesting. What is protected by free speech and assembly and what is not? Number two on the agenda, role playing. What to do if you're approached or arrested by ICE agents while protesting. Now, this moment in the story was fascinating because we saw volunteers at the front of the sanctuary role-playing as ICE agents grabbing and zip-tying protesters, while people playing bystanders were filming with their phones and blowing whistles and loudly chanting and speaking out in bullhorns. In the backdrop of this training exercise is the altar, the pulpits, and the choir loft. Just a surreal juxtaposition of our reality right now. What would Jesus do? I believe he would be right there standing up for our immigrant neighbors. And now the third item on the agenda for this training was teaching all the attendees present the song, "This Little Light of Mine."
This little light of mine.
So this song was originally written in 1920 as a children's song, and it was later adapted as an anthem of unity and perseverance during the Civil Rights Movement, famously sung by the Civil Rights leader Fannie Lou Hamer. Now, I've seen and heard this song being sung recently in various ICE protests, both here and around the country. And in the face of such heartbreak, what a meaningful way to speak up and show up for humanity with heart and compassion, right?
I'm gonna let it
Sing
shine.
it with us.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Everywhere I go,
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
thank you for joining us, thank you. Now I would like to welcome Reverend Ingrid Rasmussen from Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Minneapolis. Ingrid, come on up and join us. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Ingrid.
This would be great in a congregation. I can't see a single congregant who's upset with me right now.
Except all the
It's great.
candlelight. All
Yeah.
the candlelight. Okay, so Ingrid, first, your church has been hosting ICE preparedness training sessions.
We have, yeah. We've been working with Unidos and Monarca for a long time. And the most recent training just a couple of weeks ago was right after the Brotex federal raid in St. Paul. And there were about 300 people who showed up to that training. And what I had the pleasure of looking out at the 300 who were gathered to learn how to be good neighbors. And what I saw was a bunch of grandmas with
hippies,
yeah, with their whistles on, ready to whistle when they sensed ICE engagement, sitting next to 20-year-olds who say, this doesn't have to be the world that we're living in.
Yeah, right, absolutely. You were at the federal raid at Lake in Bloomington on June 3rd.
I was.
And that was the first trial with that whole thing.
Yeah, I had just returned from vacation and got a note that federal forces were at Lake in Bloomington. When I arrived, there were several federal agencies represented, many more than I had ever seen at one time, along with military-style vehicles at Atacaria. And I think what that experience taught me was that many of us who are living along beautiful Lake Street, which is really the United Nations of city streets, feel like in this moment we're often trying to stop a freight train with a feather.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's an image. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so now, after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Church, you helped create a statewide clergy coalition calling for a ban on assault weapons here in Minnesota. And yes, and I think it's like when you first heard about this, there was like 60 names, and now there's what, 1,100 or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what happens. You show up in the wake of the mass shooting at Cristo Rey and Annunciation. You show up to a press conference that clergy are invited to. Then you're asked to speak at a Moms Demand Action and then event. And then the next thing you know, you are being called the lead organizer for the Clergy Coalition on Gun Safety. Now, that's kind of the way that the call sometimes comes.
Sure.
Sometimes it's internal, sometimes it's external. And that's where I am. But I don't believe in hero stories. And really, that effort has been an effort of so many. One of my dear friends and colleagues, Reverend Anna Helgen, sent out, 600,000 emails to get clergy to sign on from across the state. And one of the neat things about that is that we have clergy from 70 counties, 70 of Minnesota's 84.
Wow, wow. Well, and all denominations and all faiths, and you've got rabbis, and you've got, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
Wow. And you were saying that kind of the overall message is this: enough is enough, and children matter more than weapons of war, and that basically this is, for all of you clergy, this is a moral issue.
Yeah.
This feels like a moral issue.
Yeah, I can remember moments where I've felt like I've stood in situations and I think it doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
And that feels like such a simple statement. I told my husband this morning, I said, I kind of feel like an imposter tonight because I'm just stating the obvious. We don't want kids to die in schools.
But we have to say it over and over and over again.
We don't want clergy to always be looking at sight lines in their sanctuaries now.
Right.
We don't want weapons of war on our city streets. We don't want overt militarization in our neighborhoods.
Right.
But there is this sense that sometimes I believe that our imaginations are growing small. And if this is what we believe safety looks like at this moment in history, then our imaginations have grown really small. And my faith tradition says, keep your imagination big.
Yeah, right. So, and you were saying that initially the call was, or the demand was, or the request was for a special session to be called. Mm-hmm. And so now that we're moving in towards the 2026 legislative session, the coalition is still together. You're working very closely with the Annunciation School parents and the nurses and doctors who treated those kids, and even some of the school psychs and therapists. This coalition is sort of spreading and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So what's the latest as far as keeping that momentum going into the legislative session?
Yeah. So we have leaders of faith, of all faiths, meeting with their senators and their representatives right now. So we have Roman Catholic sisters who are meeting with their rep. We have rabbis meeting with their senator. And there's something powerful about that relational connection between faith leader and elected leader.
Okay.
And what has been really interesting, even for the legislators that we've been meeting with, is that nobody is denying the meeting with their faith leader constituents.
Wow.
And so we're going to keep that momentum going between now and the legislative session, and then you'll see us really get to work.
That's powerful. When we were talking about this recently, you talked about a part of your call in this time is, do we have to keep saying, with guns and raids, and that you mentioned the cruel disdain for the neighbor.
Yeah.
And then the season of Advent reminds us. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so
this season.
In my faith tradition, so I'm a Lutheran pastor. I guess I'm one of those Lutheran women who is ruining the church right now. Back to your one Lutheran church at a time.
I'm with her.
Yeah.
I'm with her.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. The question, Advent, that's right. Advent. So Advent is this season where we are anticipating the birth of Christ. And it's a season of expectation. And it's a season where we recognize that we're living between, in the Lutheran tradition, we say the already and the not yet. So the promises given, but the promises not yet realized fully in this realm. And I think that for all of us, it's a moment for us to say, we can build together one by one. I loved that, one by one. We can build the world that we want to live in.
Yeah.
And we may feel like we're a feather trying to stop a freight train, but my friend, Yarrow, clergy friend, often says, even now, even in the face of everything that we're experiencing, there is power that flows from the heart of God. And every day I sort of take that to heart. There is power that flows.
Yes. Ingrid, thank you so much for helping us build this world that we all want to live in. Thank you so much, Ingrid Rasmussen. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you're doing and all that you are. Thank you. Now she's now going to sing another song for us, Chastity Brown.
How do you say it? How do you say? How do you say what you've been meaning to say? How do you say it? How do you say? How do you say what you've been meaning to say? Would you look at you, standing with your head down? Got a fist of a rebel and a heart of gold that just weights you down. I've been trying to walk right on up, trying to get the words on out of my mouth. Oh, but how do you say it? How do you say? How do you say what you've been meaning to say? Oh, how do you say it? How do you say? How do you say what you've been meaning to say? It must have been the middle of the night, seemed like a full moon. It was the same outside as the place you hide inside your room. You're just a little boy, trying to be a big strong man, trying to be what he never saw and can't seem to understand. How do you say it? How do you say? How do you say what you've been meaning to say? You just say it. You just say it. You just say it. You've been meaning. You just say it. You just say it.
Chastity Brown, thank you so much. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you, Chastity. Just say it. That's it. Just say it. All right. So, as you know, our December shows are never holiday shows. They're never Christmassy shows. But Ingrid's mom is a church organist. Gwen Walz's mom is also a church organist. I'm a preacher's kid. I know this is a very, very busy time for church organists. We don't have a church organist here, and we don't even have an organ. We do, however, have DGS, a violin, and some incredible, beautiful music of the season. DGS. God. Did you ask? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Now please help me welcome my special guest for the conversation, Gwen Walz. Gwen, come on up. Hi, Gwen.
Hi. Wow. How do you follow that?
I know.
Wow.
We
Just
try.
all the music. Just all of it.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh.
And thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this, for saying yes.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, well, it's just lovely, lovely, lovely. So, like I do with all of our shows, because this is a podcast as well, I'm just going to do a quick little bio of you, okay? You are Minnesota's 39th First Lady, with your husband, Tim, serving his second term as governor. You have a passion for education. You've taught in public, alternative, and migrant schools. And for many years, you served as an administrator and coordinator in the Mankato area public schools, working to eliminate the achievement gap and striving for more equity and access. You're a tireless advocate for education in America's prisons, and have worked across the country and here in Minnesota to bring college-level educational opportunities to incarcerated women and men, or as you say, students. Love that. You're a strong advocate for LGBTQ rights, gun safety legislation, and reproductive freedom. You are your husband's closest advisor. Yes. I had a whole agenda of what we were going to talk about. And then yesterday, the president does that thing in the Oval Office. So, right out of the bag, what on earth? I would love your opinion. How are you taking this all in? Attacking the Somali community, attacking your husband, attacking Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. What do you think, Gwen? What do you think?
Well, we tried to prevent this.
Yeah,
Right? We tried to prevent this.
Yeah, and so did we.
Yeah, right?
And so did we.
We collectively.
Yes, exactly.
But let's just put this in context, because whether we like it or not, Mr. Trump is the most powerful man in the world.
Right.
And, right, I know.
I
I said,
know.
whether we like it or not. But
Right.
here you have the most powerful man in the world turning his energy on a community for whatever reason of the day, that comes into his mind.
Right.
And then behaving in a way that you can't even get away with in third grade.
No.
Like the name calling.
Right.
That is so unacceptable.
Right.
Like, that's an understatement, but so unacceptable. Name calling is hurtful.
Right.
And it generalizes, and most of all, it dehumanizes.
Absolutely.
And he continues to do this day
I know.
after day after day. And as an English teacher, I just think, do you have such a lack of vocabulary?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
There's
right.
just nothing else that...
No, that's a good point.
Right?
That's a good. Somebody said to me a while ago, he wouldn't pass inspection for a rescue dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, you hear about he wouldn't get a job in a school, or he wouldn't get, but it goes, no, let's take it down to this.
Yeah.
There are rules and regulations and boundaries for even getting a rescue dog.
The generalization, how he just groups people together, that is an element of dehumanization that is just really so unacceptable. And we just need to reject that on every single level. These people are our friends and our neighbors.
Right.
They are doctors and teachers and parents and
Yes.
plumbers and community members.
Yes. And
most
mayors.
of all, Minnesotans.
Yes.
They are Minnesotans.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is how many things a day, and that's part of their strategy, right? It's just
overload.
Overload. So that people check out and say, well, I'm not.
He's
I'm
just
not going to
being
get engaged.
frank. He's just being frank. That's all. Yeah. All right. Well, we're not going to solve that, unfortunately, for tonight. So, okay, I want to jump into your life as a teacher. I listened to a podcast episode that you did just last year with a former student of yours. And she had been a student 20 years before, I believe. Her name was Ann Vogt. Her podcast is called What If It Works? It was absolutely adorable to listen to you two talking to each other. She took your American Lit class when she was in 11th grade in Mankato.
Required class.
Yeah. Oh, a required class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She just credits you with all this praise, with how much you instilled confidence in herself and all her friends and other students, and your cooperative approach to teaching. But here's what caught me about the conversation. It's about an hour long. You remembered where she sat in your class.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And you remembered how she sat with her legs facing the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what? And I'm listening to the podcast going, what? Wouldn't we all love to have a teacher that 20 years later goes, oh, I remember where you sat.
Yeah.
And I remember how you dressed and when all the cool stuff that you did. Tell me, how is that possible?
First, she was Ann Litchfield to me.
Right, sure.
Yeah, and her married name is Vogt. But here's the truth of it. I see things spatially sometimes.
Okay.
And so I would tell the kids, the students, because there was a Dairy Queen across the street from Mankato West, if I didn't have the seating charts memorized, if I didn't have your name memorized by the end of the first 3 days of school, then I would take the class to the Dairy Queen. Well, because I knew I couldn't take them all to the Dairy Queen, and how could you do that at school? But, it was good incentive, right? And so I would just really work to know where those students sat. So I still see where the students sit in my mind.
Of all the many, many students you have, I mean, literally, it was funny. She did not see that coming in the conversation. She's like, I used to sit kind of in the middle of the room. You go, oh, no, I know exactly where you sat. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what? Are you kidding me? It was adorable.
And she did sit like that, too, like she was ready to run out the door.
Like she's ready to leave. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And yet she gives you a lot of credit for giving her confidence.
Anne was a great student. And I could recall a lot of my students and remember really spectacular things about each one of them because it's what you focus on. And certainly not every day is good, but what you really hope is that they remember that about you.
No, of course. Here was another thing you mentioned. You said at the end of the year, graduation, that you and Tim were like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to say goodbye. Those were the best students. Those were the best students ever. And then the next fall when the new kids came in, it's like, oh my God, these are the best students ever.
Every year. And we were the senior class advisors a lot, and we had been the junior class advisors and built the prom. And so, you get to know the students in so many great ways. But, graduation, it was just heartbreaking. It'd be like, it'll never be okay again, those kids.
And then next fall, screw those people. Look at you, wonderful people.
Yeah.
I love you.
Moving on.
I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Love it. You talk about teaching as one of your greatest gifts.
I felt like it was such an opportunity, and I do miss being in a school. For 29 years, I started every single day in a school.
Yeah, right.
And longer if you count, my own education and going back. But the thing about it is, I always learned so much more from my students than I think they learned from me. And if you approach it like that, that works in high school English because you get to read their writing, you get to hear what they think, you get to gauge in those conversations. It's a new take on the world every single day, and it's a chance to kind of learn how they're thinking, and that forms who you are.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting to me that your journey from being lifelong teachers and sort of assuming you would be lifelong teachers and you were going to buy a home in Mankato and you were going to live a block away from school and you were just going to do that until you retired and then you have grandchildren or whatever. And that's not what happened.
Right.
And so this sort of trajectory when Tim is deployed in Iraq and comes back and isn't happy at all with what's happening with the war. And what can we do to speak up? And some of the quotes that I found in some of these articles that you were talking about, it was like, what do? We do everything we can. And this one thing that I love, one way to stop war was to stop the money. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you need to be in Congress.
Yeah.
And so that's what motivated him to run for Congress in the 1st Congressional District.
Yeah. So you have to have a purpose to what you're doing. But I mean, we never imagined running for political office. We say we did not prepare our lives to run for office, but our lives prepared us.
Yeah, right.
But no, we didn't think about that at all. And then I want to correct this because there's much debate about his military service all the time. So he served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Just let me say that.
Good.
If you follow the record.
Sure.
He was deployed for a year and then came back, and it had been a really frustrating experience. That's when they were first using the National Guard internationally.
Oh, right.
So, like, insurance was not set up, the pay was not like military pay, there was not leave from your job. It was all kinds of issues, and it was kind of a morale issue. He was a leader. He was first sergeant, then command sergeant major, so he was in charge of his men, and they were worried about their families back here in Minnesota, and that affected their capacity, he felt to do the job well.
Right.
So we were working on different things. It was the first time I'd worked on legislation. And so we were working on that, trying to make that better. But when he came back, he went to a George Bush rally in Mankato at the Quarry.
Okay.
And when he showed up, he had some students with him, and they said that they had been identified as enemies of the president.
What?
And because we had worked on those issues, and we were holding, signs that said "Health Care for National Guard" and those sorts of things.
Those are enemies of the people.
But that was at George Bush versus John Kerry.
Of course.
And then one of the kids who was a National Merit finalist had a John Kerry sticker on his wallet, and so they said he had to leave because he was an enemy of the.
Wow.
And so Tim and I are like, wait a minute, we just served.
Yeah.
Because when you serve, your family serves for a whole year.
Right.
In the National Guard, like from the time Hope was 2.5 to the time she was 3.5. They're like, we gave a whole year of our lives, and you're being asked to leave the George Bush rally.
Yeah.
And he had just been named the Mankato Teacher of the Year and was one of the finalists for the Minnesota Teacher of the Year. And he said, you don't want to kick me out of this rally because that will be the headline. I can guarantee you that. State championship football coach, whatever, gets kicked out of the George Bush rally. Right. So they didn't kick him out, but they surrounded him with like Secret Service and embarrassed him in front of his friends and neighbors. And and he actually was the last person. They kept him at the Quarry, and he had to walk back because they had all the buses taking people back. He had to walk back to his car. I was like out driving around because I'm like, where is this guy?
Is he?
Yeah. I did not go to the George Bush rally because I would have had to use a vacation day.
That's the only reason why you didn't go?
Well, because I wasn't going to use the vacation day to go to a George Bush rally.
I would not go because I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Don't make me go.
Well,
screw the vacation day.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
He thought it was a good idea to show students that we would attend a political rally when a president comes to your, whatever.
Sure. I get it.
And we were really, really discouraged that night. Like, stayed up all night going, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And so we decided that we were going to get involved in the John Kerry election.
Okay.
And how we would solve this problem is we would work to elect John Kerry. We called the Democratic Party the next day and said, we haven't been involved in politics, but we're school teachers and we can organize, And so can you tell us what to do? So they sent us this person to our door. Yeah. Knock, knock, knock. Like that's how you would do it on radio theater, right? Knock, 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 knock.
Right,
okay,
exactly.
like that. And we opened the door, and I said to Tim, oh my God, they sent us a 12-year-old. And it wasn't a 12-year-old, but it was Chris Schmitterer. If any of you know our chief of staff, he looks super young.
Okay.
And he was going to be a senior at Georgetown. But they sent him. And
that worked out then.
It worked. Yeah. I knew from minute one. But he said, okay, you need to get a Kerry captain in every one of these precincts, and then you need to have them call all these people and whatever. And we're like, okay. So we called them back 3 days later. We said, okay, we have all our Kerry captains. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Nobody really does that. And we're like, what do you mean?
We know how to fill out assignments. We're teachers.
We're like, no, we have every one of them. We're meeting at the golf course once a week. They're like, what?
Yeah.
We're like, we're organizing. We're going to win.
Yeah.
And we did. We did really well in Blue Earth County and Nicollet County in that area. But John Kerry did not win.
Sure.
And so that night I said, I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to Ohio. Ohio was up in the air.
Yeah,
and
right.
Tim's like, I don't think you better do that. We have to come up with another plan. And I'm like, I just can't accept this.
Yeah.
And so we said when we ran into things in our life, we would ask ourselves, what do you do? And our answer had to be everything we can.
Everything we can. Yeah,
Everything we can.
So then he runs for the first,
we said, what's the goal? And we said, stopping the war. How do you stop the war? You stop the money. Where do you stop the money? The United States Congress. Because people would be like, do you think maybe you should run for like city council or something?
Dog catcher.
Yeah, because I always say the last thing.
Start small.
Right? The last thing Tim was elected to before the United States Congress was homecoming king.
Yeah.
And that is not a ringing endorsement
It's
for
not?
politics.
It's
Well,
not? Okay.
12 of the people in his class were his cousins. So, like, that's... Of course, now in this day and age, that's not a given vote,
in this day and age, that actually might get you a cabinet position.
Yeah.
Oh, you were homecoming king? Secretary of War. Come on up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I'm pretty sure we lost Boyd County in Nebraska, where he's from, and Lincoln County in Minnesota, where I'm from. So, those relatives don't always count. But we said, no, our purpose is, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, right.
And so that was the year when the Democrats swept in and Nancy Pelosi became the first woman Speaker of the House, as you mentioned earlier. She is amazing.
She's amazing.
And at the national level, they picked all of these candidates and people were all excited about it. Remember how many people they called them the majority makers?
Yes.
But they didn't think Tim was going to win. So, there was
Well, it's a conservative district.
Yeah, it is. But money was going all over the country, but not to Minnesota's first. And then Al Franken heard us speak.
Oh.
And he knew some people at the DCCC. And so then the last 2 weeks of the campaign, they spent like $140,000 on TV commercials. But Al and Franny Franken campaigned with us.
Wow.
And I had just had Gus. He was 2.5 weeks old when Tim was elected.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. And this was one of the few times I had the kids in the commercial, but we had Gus in a diaper. And at the end of the commercial, I said, Tim, I think it's time for a change. And then I handed him Gus.
But
we pulled out all the stops on that election.
But it worked. It worked. And then he served for 12 years.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was a tough race every single time. That's a tough district down there.
I remember, obviously, I live in the Twin Cities, so we couldn't vote for him, but I remember it was just like, something's going on with that guy in that really conservative district. He just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, so, okay, here's how it went. We weren't even talking about marriage equality at that time, right? We were talking about civil unions and that kind of stuff.
You're saying this is what,
2006?
Six,
yeah.
Okay.
So it was coming down to the end, and we had a debate with Gil Gutnick, who was a 12-term Republican congressman, and they asked him a question about supporting civil unions. And I was in the front row too, and Tim looked at me because we knew where we were on this issue, and Tim said, I support marriage equality. The best thing ever to happen to me was marrying Gwen, and I can't imagine denying that love to anyone.
Wow, God bless him. God bless him. Yep.
And, right?
And that was early for politicians to come out
Oh
and say
my
that.
gosh,
Yes.
everyone was so mad, especially our gay friends. They're like, you idiots, you're going to lose now. And we needed you to win.
Oh, interesting.
And they were really upset with us.
Wow.
And we said, you know what? We have to be who we are.
Yes.
We have to be authentic about this, and we're going to win because of our values, not in spite of our values. And there are just some things, with the healthcare votes and other things, you say, well, we'll go home over that vote, because what is it worth if you can't fight for what it is that you care about? And sometimes you have to play a little bit of the longer game, but you better be fighting for what you care about. And we have been really, really fortunate to serve in that way.
Yes, yes.
And support what we care about and try to make that happen.
Well, and yes, and just standing up for, like you said, standing up for our values and not shying away from them and say, okay, because it's almost like if you have to kind of hold your values back or compromise, do you even want to serve?
Yeah, why would you want to?
Exactly.
I don't get that.
Right, exactly. It's like, all right, well, I'll be sort of middle just so I can get in there. Obviously, I think there are people who do that. Of course.
I think so.
There are many people who do that.
Some people feel so caught up because they think that that's power or something, that gives their existence meaning. And I think
you mean to
hold their seat, to be in Congress or to hold their whatever. And we just think about it really differently, I think, because when you are elected, that's not power. that's responsibility.
Right.
And that is really a difference.
Right.
And yes, you have the capacity to make things happen and convene people and all of that, but that's a responsibility to the people that you serve.
Right.
All the people that you serve.
Yeah.
And that is not easy, and sometimes it's not as clear as it might always seem, but it's how we think about it.
Yeah. Right.
At the end of the day, we just feel so very fortunate to be able to serve.
No, and just to be so genuine. You guys are so genuine. We met for the first time tonight.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like, don't I know you? I know we know. Yeah. I mean, there's just that thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
Well, I'm a fan.
Okay. I'm a fan.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we're both fans up here.
Yeah,
Anybody else
I'm
a fan?
a fan,
Okay.
right, yeah.
I there's a million things I want to talk to you about. So I think at this point, speaking about serving, I want to jump to the call from Kamala Harris on August 6th. Okay. So we know that everybody knows that Tim is on the short list for VP, right? We know this. So Biden drops out, Kamala gets in, and then there's all this buzz about, the top 6, the top 5, and that kind of stuff. So were you guys anticipating that call at all? I mean, was there no sort of like, okay, if we get the call, like, who's going to, like, feed the dog and mow the grass? I mean, like, was there no kind of like, what do we pack? I mean, were there anything, or were we just kind of like, don't think about it, don't put that out there because we just don't know?
It was so weird by then.
Yeah.
You know,
well, so fast.
Yeah, it was so fast. So first, when you go through that vetting process, that is like a colonoscopy on national television.
Sure. That is such a lovely image. Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
yes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Gwen, it appears that you were called to the principal's office in 6th grade. What was that about?
Wow.
It's like that. Like,
and like parking tickets and stuff like that.
Anything,
Wow.
anything, and like just the information. So
okay, that's
like,
it. I'm never going to run for vice president.
Yeah. So you've just like been through the ringer of every single, mostly like mistake you've ever made, and
that you don't even probably remember.
Right?
You're
but
like,
that
what?
you've
I'm
had
sorry, what
to
are you
like,
talking about? Yeah.
Right?
I gotta be on that paper?
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's like that. Wow. Like, okay, in like 1996 in July, it appears you did not pay the full American Express bill, Gwen.
Wow.
And Tim is like, what were you doing? I'm like,
how come we didn't pay the bill back in 1996?
I think we did,
I was having children. I don't know what you were doing.
It shows a charge of $9.96 or something, and that's going to come out in the press, whatever. So that whole process is like,
well, exhausting and sort of frustrating as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to have like these conferences where they talk to you about this, and, and your kids have to, and like with social media stuff and all their accounts, and they have to turn over all that information. And so anyway, by the time you get to this place in the process,
who cares?
We're like, man, for sure it's not us. Yeah. But Tim got called for an interview. And so that was a really interesting process because he kind of had to fly here and then he had to fly there. And then like they picked him up in a lawn delivery truck, like with lawnmowers and stuff. And
you mean as like camouflage or something like that?
Well, like they picked him up at a dog park. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. In like and drove him into the VPs because everybody was watching who was coming in and out.
So
and
they
were
pretending he's like a dog park worker or something?
Yeah, like it was a secret, like meet you there.
Yeah,
you know, right? If anyone knows Tim, he's at the dog park all the time, but still. But this is in Virginia, and
sure, wow.
And so we went in, for this interview, and
you're both there.
I'm not. I'm in Minnesota because it was my sister's wedding reception that we were hosting.
Sure. Good excuse.
You like timing is everything.
Yes, right, exactly.
And like, where's Tim?
I don't know.
Because you can't say anything.
He's at a dog park.
Yeah, right.
That's all I can tell you. He can't come to your wedding because he's at a dog park.
Yeah. Luckily, our fantastic family is just like used to this kind of stuff all the time.
Sure,
like,
he's at the dog park.
Yeah. I mean, they're like assuming something is flooding, or whatever. And so we went through the interview and, was back home and we're like, okay, well, we're not sure.
How did he feel about it?
he's a very positive person.
Yeah.
So like, it went well.
Sure.
You know, and like
as well as it could have.
Yep. And then he talked to his friend Josh Shapiro, and he's like, it went well. You know, like, and Josh's interview went well.
Yeah.
And then like Mark Kelly texted, and he's like, it went well, and everybody's like, oh, 3 great
If it's not
interviews.
me, I hope
you know?
it's you.
Yeah. And I mean,
right. Seriously.
yeah,
Right,
and
right.
like Josh Shapiro's wife is a very good friend of mine, and we're texting, and she's like, "I hope it's you," and I'm like, "I hope it's you," and I'm like, "Oh," you know, right?
Right.
I mean, they were the first people to meet us when we got off the plane in Philadelphia. The Shapiros were.
Oh right. Oh sure. Sure.
They met us, and it was a moment. Okay.
Okay, so I just
long
want to say,
answer.
because as far as that call, of course, we all know that the famous thing, like he didn't answer the phone because it was an unrecognizable number. And then on the other end, you know, Kamala's going, he's not answering the phone. I'm doing the call. He's not answering the phone. So then she leaves a message. Then he calls her back. I
wasn't there.
You're not there. You're at a superintendent's meeting.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And that's how you found out you're at this meeting?
Well, I'm at this meeting because we asked them, should we go about our daily schedule? And they said yes.
Yes.
So we were like, is it us or is it not us? You know? And the night before, we had decided to fly Hope home because it was just so much commotion around everything. Like if it was him or if it was not him. So we flew her home from Montana to St. Paul.
Okay.
But they said, you can't go to the airport because everybody's watching what you're doing. So my brother-in-law had to go to the airport and like put Hope in the trunk and drive her home and drop her off.
At the dog park. I'll meet you at the dog park.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we wanted her home because we just, you know, we weren't sure. And then we had my sister and brother-in-law, my sister who's here tonight with me.
Okay, good. Welcome.
We had them ready to go in case we got the call.
Yeah.
But we weren't sure, you know, if we were going to get the call. And then we got a call the night before, and they asked us 2 questions, and could we clarify our stance, and would there be really any movement on like our position here?
Oh,
like maybe it didn't quite sync, you know, in that same way, or maybe they were checking. We don't know.
Interesting.
And once again, you have to go with your values.
Yes, yes.
And so after we answered those questions, we were pretty sure it wasn't us.
Oh, interesting.
Because you know, we just didn't know. Like you don't know.
Right.
And then we said, should we run our regular schedule the next day? And I'm like, I'm meeting with all the superintendents in the state of Minnesota. It's the kickoff for the school year, you know.
Right.
And they're like, yes, run your regular schedule. So I go out to, it was like 30 minutes from St. Paul, and I'm getting out of the car, and they're saying CNN is starting to report. And I'm like, well, we haven't gotten a call. And I'm texting Tim, have you gotten a call? I haven't gotten a call.
No.
I'm like, okay, I'm going
Some weird
in.
phone number call,
I'm
but I don't
going
know
in.
who it was.
So all the superintendents are like looking at their phones
Oh, seriously, at the meeting?
at the meeting.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm speaking here.
Put your phones away, children.
And I said, you know, what would you
Speaking
do
here.
if all your students were like looking at your phone while you know,
Right.
put your phones away.
Yeah.
Right? And they're looking at me like, lady, have you lost your mind? Because I think you're all over CNN, you know? And
Oh my God! So that's how you found out?
well, they're like looking at me like that, and the staff is like, "You have 5 minutes. We're
Yeah.
going to get you out of here in 5 minutes."
We're gonna put you in the trunk, and we're gonna
right. And I'm like, I text him, "Have you gotten the call?" No,
Still,
but we think maybe it was leaked to CNN.
It was leaked. I see. Yeah,
and
yeah,
he said,
yeah.
"But that might be a diversion," and we're like, "Okay."
Oh, well,
all right.
that's sweet. Yeah, that's
well,
lovely.
okay.
Yeah.
And he said, "But I just found out that Kamala is gonna call at about, you know, this time." And I'm like, "Well, let me know, you know, let me know." And
I'll get out of the trunk.
Yeah.
And I'll come in.
And I'm on my way back, you know,
For the meeting, yeah.
to East Cliff. I'm like getting close, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Because there are all these helicopters in the sky and stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, that is over East Cliff.
Right.
And I couldn't even like get down the street. And then
They wouldn't let you in. They wouldn't let you pass.
no, like
You are
Yeah, right. Because they're like no cars,
right.
but then there were like lots of people, and
Sure.
then I'm getting close to East Cliff, and Gus is out like handing out treats to people on the fence, talking, taking pictures with people, like saying hi to national media and stuff, and I'm like,
And you and Tim have still not talked about this.
no. By the time I walk in the house, there are all these people I don't know.
Sure.
And they're running around with what looks like Tim's clothing.
Oh,
And
funny. Right.
and I look at Chris is there, Chris Schmitterer, and some of the staff are there, and I'm like, what?
Like, what the hell's happening? Yeah.
And Chris Schmitterer starts crying, and he said he got the call.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I missed it?
Yeah. I told them to put their phones away, and I missed it.
I missed it. Yeah, and he's like, yeah.
And
he's
then you had like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
to pack.
45 minutes to get all of us packed because you're getting on a plane flight.
Right.
But one of the, I don't know if this is funny or not, but I thought it was kind of funny.
It's all funny. It's all very funny.
Because this man named Vin, who's the coordinator of the world, said to me, I have a plane in Bozeman, Montana, picking up Hope.
Oh.
And I'm like,
she's here.
She's here.
Yeah, right.
And they're like,
so Vin, you screwed up, buddy.
he's like, oh God. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, did anybody wake her up? Like, because
She's
that's
a
what
college
it was like.
student.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
right. That's
Yeah.
what it's like. So we are packing.
Did anybody wake her up?
As fast as we can.
I know. Wait. This is late morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, late morning, late morning. Yeah.
9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Something
Okay.
like
yeah.
that.
She could totally still be asleep.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, she was, and she got in late. Uncle Pete had just,
Right, exactly.
picked her up because they were going to get her to Philadelphia.
Oh,
you know?
right. Oh, right to Philadelphia. Sure.
Yeah, but she was home.
So here, your house is just full of all these people you don't know.
Yes.
They're grabbing your clothes and sort of approving this and that and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, what the hell's happening here?
Yeah, and they're like, you need to be packed for 6 days. In 45 minutes with 4 people.
No, I couldn't do it.
And that and
I would need 55 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Please.
Well, so I'm like, Mary, you got to help my sister, and so like we're pulling things and putting it together and as fast as we can, and they're like, just put stuff in here. We'll figure it out when we get to Philadelphia. So we fly to Philadelphia.
Yeah. And they're big. We all watched it, right? We watched
land.
the thing, right? We all watched it, yes.
And then we're in the girls' locker room at the university.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I remember the steamer because I am like steaming all of our clothes.
Wait, you brought your own steamer?
Yeah, I brought my own steamer. I travel with a steamer usually.
Well, sure, you never know when you need to steam
never know when you
something.
need a steamer.
Right.
It's a life in politics. I have one of those little ones.
No, I hear you.
An iron with a muslin cloth would be better, but the steamer.
No, hey, I traveled for many years. I get you.
Yeah, you can do that, in a quick trip bathroom or whatever you need to
exactly.
do.
Right.
So I have the steamer, but we are in the women's locker room, and I'm like steaming stuff, and they're going through different scripts because we're working on Tim's speech on the way to Philadelphia.
Sure, of course, yeah.
And they're like, it'll be fine. You're going to have it on a teleprompter. And he's like, I've never used a teleprompter before.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, and so they set up this shower area in the women's locker room at Temple University with a teleprompter for practice because you're going to be on stage in like 10 minutes or something.
Oh my God. The whole thing was just crazy. Crazy
Yes. The Shapiros were there. It was great to see them, but of course you want to catch up, but you're supposed to be doing something else. And they have been nothing. I mean, they are good friends.
Yeah.
They are really good friends. Their kids, Soph, their daughter, is the same age as Hope. And those two are, we do stuff together all the time.
Yeah.
And they were wonderful, but they're like, you're going to do some social media things and, with Doug, and you and Kamala are going to do this.
And you're like, Doug. Oh, Doug. Right, Doug.
That's what I said. I said, are we going to meet these people?
Yeah,
right?
Right,
exactly. Like Tim had met them, but I hadn't met them. And so, like,
because you and Doug are going to be like, what you were. There were a lot of, I know I watched a lot of your stump speeches leading up to this. You kind of got thrown together a lot.
Yeah. They're wonderful people. They are wonderful people. And their children are wonderful. They're fantastic. And so Kamala was like, okay, stop the bus. Everybody, we need just 10 minutes. Everybody else out, our family and your family.
Oh, wow.
And so there we are.
And this is before the rally? Or?
This is before the rally, because she was in the men's locker room.
Well, I know, maybe it's a power thing. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Whatever.
I don't know. Maybe, but
she ruined that workplace. We don't know. Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, she is like everybody out. We need just some time.
Good for her.
So it was our family and their family, and like it was one of the few 10-minute segments, that you had.
Yeah.
But it was great, and it was warm, and it was like, we know why we are doing this, and Tim and I said, like, we're going to do everything we can. Because if it's us, like, yes. I mean, I'm still surprised it was us. Right?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm a Minnesotan. There are a lot of people who are just, quote unquote, meeting Tim for the first time, right, on a national level. And people going, oh my God. And the whole sort of like America's dad thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that just really took off. It's like, I wish that guy was my dad. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But there was a sense of pride, and there was a sense of, this works. This combination felt like it really, really worked. So I just thought it was a brilliant combination.
Yeah. Well, it was Kamala's choice in the end.
Yeah, right.
Like Doug picked Shapiro.
Oh, is that the truth? Is that the truth? But that's interesting. That is sort of like, no, go with that guy. And it's like, no, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with the coach guy. I like that.
Yeah.
You talk about, in some of those stump speeches, basically you were sort of an introvert type. And here you are, you're doing like these rally speeches, and how you got a lot of energy back. And that was really helping you sort of going, okay, I can do this. I can talk to thousands of people. I've never done that before, but I can do that. How was that?
Again, I went back to the purpose and the why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to do anything they ask me to do.
Yeah.
So Doug had a plane, Kamala had a plane, Tim had a plane. And
you had a trunk.
I did not have a plane.
You had a bus?
I was on Delta a lot. And it was mostly Delta, but it was like other airlines too. And
how come?
3 states. I think that
budget. No,
I don't know. The planes were just being used. I think we had President Obama sometimes on a plane and Hillary Clinton sometimes on a plane. And I'm like, whatever.
Those people.
I'm like, I'm fine. We can be on Delta. Secret Service is like, have you lost your mind?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, but get with it, guys. And so,
if you want me there, I got to get there somehow.
They're
right?
like, we've never done anything like this before. They're like, this is kind of crazy. I'm like, I don't know what else to do, because we are running a schedule. We're doing every single thing they ask us to do. I mean, we carried our printer on the plane, right?
Your
On
steamer
and off,
and your printer.
And our printer. And we had to come up the side and get on first. And then, the Secret Service had all their stuff with them too.
They're not carrying the printer, the Secret Service?
They weren't. No, they weren't. A lot of times,
That's really hard to
we
hear.
had staff, or we carried each other's stuff. I mean, like, we were a team, you know? And we were sometimes on 5 flights a day, but
I know you would see it on the news. You go, oh, now they're here, now they're here, and it was like, well, how do you do that in a day?
Yeah, well, and Tim, was doing some of the larger events and stuff, but I was working with we're trying some new micro kind of work with some of the bloggers in the area and some of the social media stuff, which was really starting to work. And because some of the stuff I was doing was really working, they just had me doing more and more of it. And, an introvert doesn't necessarily mean you're not outgoing. It means you get your energy from your time alone, right?
Sure.
So, I would have to stay up super late by myself, so I would have my alone time, because sleeping isn't alone time, But like Tim gathers that energy from people. But I was so inspired and so moved and energized too, because people I met all over this country were so invested in the election. And there was real concern and fear. And of course, like, everything is what we thought it would be and worse, right? And I think about those people every day, and it's a hard thing to live with that loss. You wake up every morning, and I think for Tim and I, we just say, we did everything we could, but you still,
This country could not handle a woman of color in that ultimate leadership position. That is call it my opinion, that is the bottom line. They just couldn't do it. Could not do it. Too many progressive white women didn't vote for her either. So that, to me, End of subject. End of subject. You
Yeah.
can talk about, No. That's it.
We were extremely proud to be the VP pick for Kamala Harris.
Yes.
For that woman.
Amen.
And
I want to ask you, because we're running out of time, but I want to ask you, this is all terrific. Isn't this just terrific? I mean, I just love it. I just love this. We're getting all these really, really fun stories. I just want to bring up something. At the DNC convention, there's 2 iconic moments for me personally. I know
were they my dresses?
Yeah, they were your dresses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There was 3 iconic moments.
Because I was just sewn into those things because we had no time and I had very little choice, and so they like stitched me in right.
No, I
before
know
the
you
thing.
did say
Okay.
something about here. This was going to the DNC. Here this was like this monumental experience of your lifetime, and you're worrying about, do people have clean underwear?
Yeah.
Do your shoes match your clothes?
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the 2 iconic images I'm thinking of, and I'm going to start at the day that Kamala is up there. She's officially been nominated. She's giving her speech, and there's that beautiful photo, and I can't remember which news organization took it. And you see her young niece from behind with the braids, and she's looking up at her Aunt Kamala at the podium, and it just screams representation matters. Young girls are looking. Our children are paying attention. It just screams that. So I just love that. The second one is the night before, when Tim is up there and he's accepting the nomination, and you guys are in the front row. You and Gus and Hope are in the front row, and he's saying how much he loves you and how much you're so much of his world. And then there's that very iconic moment that we all know. Gus is overwhelmed with emotion. And he stands up and he points to him and says, "That's my dad." And I'm telling you, yes. At that very moment, I am 17 years old. And maybe a lot of us felt this way. I am instantly 17 years old, instantly picturing my dad in that situation and being overwhelmed and with emotion and knowing it's exactly what I would have done. And I know being under this huge, bright spotlight for that very compact period of time, all your intimate, besides the bill you didn't pay in 1996, but all those intimate details of your family that all of a sudden became national news, which I'm sure was very, very tough and very hard. I mean, you'd been public figures, but this was sort of a whole nother level. But we were so there with you. Weren't we there with her? Weren't we there? Weren't we totally there? I'm with Gus, man. That's exactly what I would have done. You talk about how many experiences in your life were transformational experiences. And I think with what you guys have done here in Minnesota, starting with school, being teachers, and then what you've done in Congress and what you've done in the State House and on a national level to bring this sort of sense of humanity and normalness, right? I mean, can we just be normal for a little bit and just lovely, gracious people? I feel that you've created transformational experiences for us. I truly do. Thank you, Gwen Walz. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, Gwen Walz, please.
Thank you.
Please.
Oh, thank
please,
you.
Please. That's our show for tonight, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you again to Gwen Walz, please. And Chastity Brown. Chastity, come on up. Chastity, come on up. Chastity Brown. And Ingrid Rasmussen. Ingrid, can you join us? Ingrid, can you join us? I know I'm surprising you with this. Can you join us? Come on up, Ingrid, please. And Zippy Laske and DGS. Zippy Laske and DGS. And Melissa Denton. Come on up, Melissa. Come on up. And I want to thank our live captioner, Erica Cook, and our engineer, John Robinson, and our incredible volunteers tonight, Suzanne Egley, Carolyn Denton, and Doug Anderson. And Bonnie Allen, thank you for taking our pictures. And thank you to the staff at Crooner Supper Club. Big thank you to our sponsors for the show tonight, Amy and Jeff Hill, and Nancy Scott and David O'Connor. And for more information about our outreach for tonight, the 2026 Special Olympics happening in Minnesota in June, please visit their website, 2026 Special Olympics, USAGames.org. And to learn about all of our upcoming shows, visit our website, islandofdiscardedwomen.com. And we will be back very soon, everybody, with another live Island of Discarded Women. Thank you, everybody. I am Sue Scott. Good night. Good night. Thank you.